Mm, Hello, hello. My name is Kshitij Hamid Sable, and today I am going to teach about vectors. So, if you are able to hear me, then please in the chat section say that I am able to hear you, so that I can understand that you are able to hear me. Okay. Yes. So I will start now. Uh, So first of all, I wanted to tell that I am going to teach vectors today. Uh, Before vector, I just want to tell that vector is just like an array. So if you know array manipulations, then you are easily able to understand what are vectors and how we can do vector manipulations. Uh, it is a container. Uh, it is a container in the STL standard template library, and it is a part of C++ language. So I hope that you all of you know C++ well. Now to start with vectors, a vector is a sequence container class that implements dynamic array, means size automatically changes when appended and deleted. By this I mean to say that in array, uh, one sec, I have to check. Uh, This I mean to say that in array we had to do declare array. First we had to declare the size of the array. After declaring the size of the array, we are not able to change the size of the array during runtime. So, but in vector it is not the case. We can change the size of the vector changes accordingly when we append some elements inside the vector. By by appending, I mean by when we push some elements into the vector, or when we insert some elements into the vector, or the size automatically decreases when we when we remove some elements from the vector. Now the basic syntax to declare the vector is this. I will increase the size so that you can clearly see. Basically, I have included the bits std_c++.h header file. It includes all the header files, but then also in order to tell you that for declaring a vector, we need a vector header file. So I have even after including bits header file, I have wrote this hashtag include vector header file so that I can declare vector. Now I have used typedef long int ll. This is just a shortcut. Typedef is typedef helps us to rename a already named keyword. Means I can name long int as ll. Now I have wrote ll here. Basically what in vector declaration we have to first write the vector. This is compulsory vector. Then we have to give the angular brackets, and inside that we have to write the data type of which we have to make the vector of. One sec, I will see the chats if anybody wants to contact. Am I audible? Because some people are saying that I am not able, they are not able to hear me. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. So, I was telling that for declaring vector, we have to write vector like this, and then inside angular brackets we have to write the data type. For example, we can also write vector string dot s. This statement basically means that we have declared a vector whose name is string, whose name is s, and it is a vector of string. Basically, it is each element of this vector. Means when we tell that there is an array and when we tell that it has elements, so when it is integer array, then each element is an integer. So likewise, in this case, each element in this S named vector is a string. Basically, it is a collection of string. So likewise, we can use any data type. We can write any data type inside this. So I have wrote LL here. Basically, it is long int. Now I will delete this statement because I don't want it. Now there are various methods. First of all, in order to make sure that you are getting what exactly vector is, I would want to elaborate about vector. So vector is nothing but you can understand it as it is just an array whose size can increase and decrease according to our wish. And for declaring vector, we need not to declare the size. So we can declare initially. Then you will ask, then so how much amount of size is allocated while we are declaring the vector? Then it is already predefined. When we will insert elements and when we will insert elements, and if suppose the size has to be increased, then the size will automatically will be doubled. For example, if initially the vector was of size, if I am taking that one integer takes 2 bytes, then if the vector has 3 elements, then it has 6 bytes size. But now after appending this 4th element, means as soon as I added the 4th element, its size becomes 12, means basically its size doubles. So likewise, the change in size of the vector occurs. Now next, now there are various methods to initialize and declare and initialize vector. Some of these methods are written here, means I have coded here already. In this, as I have wrote, means what this statement exactly means. So you just I will just explain it. First statement is usual. It is normal declaration, which I have explained you about, that how we have to declare an vector, and this is normal initialization. But now, if in the question it's told that size is given and it's also size is given, then you can declare the vector like this also. Vector int b beside b in circular brackets we have to write like 5, 10. This represents what? 5, 10 are 5, 10 is basically 5 is size. Five is size and 10 is value. What do I mean by this? I mean that let me delete it. I mean that this statement will create a vector of size 5 in which all the 5 elements are 10. Basically, you can understand it as it will make an array, means it will be like this, 10, 10, 10, 10. It will make an vector of which will look like this. Why like this? Because in first we have to write the size, and in second we have to write the value that all the elements will take. So if I will write 0 here instead of 10, then all these elements will become 0. Like this. Now comes the third initialization. In this, in third initialization, we are basically copying a vector b in C. What I mean is, if I have declared a vector a, b, a, b, so I have declared two vectors a, b here, and if I have declared a vector c here, and no, b is already declared, so we don't need to declare it again. So this vector b, which has 5 elements in it, and if each of this has 0 value, so if by this statement this will copy vector B in C, means it will copy this vector, whole vector, into C. Basically what, if this is B, then C will also become like this, means C, the whole B will be copied in C, inside C by this B dot begin and B dot end. I think that you will not be able to understand what is B dot begin and B dot end. For you can first of all, actually I forgot to tell that vector is a, means I told that vector is a container and you can understand vector as an array, but vector is basically a class. And if you will, if you know, then for using functions related to functions a class, for using functions related to a class, we use dot operator. So this is the dot operator, and this function begin and ends are nothing but the function begin and end tells by the function's name only you can understand that begin and end will definitely say that B dot begin means the first element and B dot end is not the first element, it is the next element just after the last element. Means for example, if this is the first element and there is a pointer P which is pointing to first element, and then there is a pointer Q which is pointing to the next element to the last, means if there would be any if there is a space here, then Q is pointing to this. So in this case, basically from start to end, one sec, I will see the chat. Leave the, then while joining choose second option. Are you on the phone? Are you able to find any option here? Okay. So basically from start to end we are copying vector B into the vector C, and by writing this syntax we are able to do so. If you will observe, then if you have to copy or we have to assign some constant values to any vector, then we are using the circular brackets. For example, in this case we have used circular brackets. In this case we have used circular brackets for initializing the vector for a particular value. For example, for while we declare array, or if it is size n, what we do to initialize array with some constant values, we write as a of 10 equal to then this bracket, and then we write the element that we have to initialize. But in case of vector, we don't need to write this equal operator symbol. Means we have to directly write like this. I am missing the semicolon here. So this will fill the vector by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the fourth way. So I have explained to you till now the first way, then this is the second way, this is the third way, this is the fourth way, and this is the fifth way. Now I am explaining you fourth. In this we are basically giving value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to vector D. But here remember that we are not using equal to symbol like we used to do in array. We are directly writing like this. Same in this. Same in the statements above. We are not using equal to symbol anywhere else. Now the fifth way to initialize a vector. In this, if there is an already existing array, then we are, by this statement we are copying that array this statement we are copying that array into that vector E. By this I mean that let's say this is I will keep another name to this. This is array Q. Now means inside the main function we have already declared array Q. For example, suppose that we have declared array Q inside the main function already, and suppose that array has 5 elements, and each of its value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if there is already existing array inside the main function, means inside the program we are for which we have inside the program, then to copy this array into a particular vector we use this syntax. If you are observing, in third case we copied an existing vector into a new vector. In this we are copying an existing array into the vector. So basically, as here a vector is in container, so we did b.begin, b.end. But here, as if you have used sorting function, then you could remember to use means for sorting we used to do a plus n. Like this we have to we are doing to sort an array. So basically you can take means you can understand it as to copy an array, we are just taking this and replacing it here, means placing it here. So to copy an vector you can remember it like this. So to copy an vector to copy an array Q into the vector E, we are using this, means we are writing this statement. So these are the 5 steps, 5 different steps in by 5 different methods by which we can declare and initialize a vector. If anyone has any doubt or confusion in this 5 or any other doubt related to vector, then please tell in the please write that doubt in the chat section. I will definitely clarify your doubt if I am able to. Obviously, I will wait till 3 minutes. But does vector size have no limitations? No, the vector size has limitations. I don't know, I don't remember the exact value, but it's a very large value. Means obviously every container in any language has and limitations. Vector has limitations, but its limitation means normally while coding, while computer programming, or while doing writing any program, we don't reach till that limitations. Means our vector size doesn't increase to till that number is very big, as long as you have sufficient memory. Yes, but actually when we are writing a program, memory is sufficient always, and even if the memory is not even if the memory is whole empty, but then still there is an limitation, a limitation of vector size, and that there you can search it on Google. It's very large number, but we usually don't reach till that number. Any other doubt? If you have any other doubt, then please ask. Till now, Devang, Kamble and Amaya Jangam has asked their doubts. What is different between array and vector? That's what I told you. That basically array is an abstract data type, or it is an abstract data type in which we can in which the size is constant. Means we cannot change the size at runtime. What do you mean by runtime? Means while running the program we cannot change the size, but in vector we can do so. Why we can do so? Because vector is not an you can understand vector as a dynamic array, and you can understand it as a dynamic array, but it is actually a class. So more points to add in between the difference between array and vector. Array doesn't has its own functions. There are not many functions by which you can manipulate array, but as vector is a class, we have many functions that can manipulate the vector. For example, I will tell you there are many functions which can manipulate the vector. I will tell you after some time that there are many vectors. For example, in array, as we can use the sort function, we can use sort function for vector. There is a pushback function, pushback function. There is insert function. There is in-place back function. The begin function, end function. I have used two functions till now, the begin and the end. This is also, these functions are, we can use this function for vector, but we cannot use this function for array. So, do you have any more doubts, or can I continue? Just tell if I can continue, or you have any more doubts. If you have any, I will wait till 3 minutes. Okay. So Niga has told to continue. Anyone has any doubts? I am asking finally. So can I continue? At least put a thumbs up so that I can. Okay. So I will continue. Now, just before clearing the doubts, I told you 5 different methods to initialize and declare the vector. Now it's time to copy a vector. In this method, there was one method in which it is common that in this I have copied the vector b into c. So this will be included here, but there are more methods to copy vector b into c. As I told, for example, as one told that what is difference between array and vector. We cannot directly copy the copy array 1 into array 2 by doing this. As we copy normal variables, means if there is a variable x, which is variable x which has value 2, and if there is variable y, I can copy variable x into y by writing y equal to x. But can I copy array like that? No. I have to iterate over the array and copy all the elements of the array into another array one by one. But this is not the case here. For vectors, we can directly copy vector v1 into vector v2 by doing this. I missed the semicolon again. By writing like this. Now second, I think I wrote this again. So and this is first method. This is second method. This is second method, in which instead of writing like this, while declaring v1 only, we can copy v2. Like here, we initialize the vector with 5 elements, and each of value is 0. Like this, by using circular bracket, means these brackets, we can copy vector v2 into v1. Now another way to copy vector into v1 is the same as array. Means we can iterate over both the vectors v1. Iterate over both the vectors v1 and v2 and copy vector v1 into e2. I will write the program. I will write the syntax for how we can iterate over a vector. There are actually three ways in which we can iterate over a vector. I will tell that 3 ways. Just a second. Yes. So I have to write the code for this. So I have told you till now how to initialize a vector. There it's 5 ways. How to copy a vector. I have told you how to copy a vector. 3 ways I have 4 ways I have told you. These three ways are which mentioned here, and the 4th way is this. In this, basically what we are doing, we are copying vector b in c. So we can copy vector v1 into to v2 like by doing these 3 methods also, by following these 3 methods also, and by doing this also. b dot begin to b dot end, means we are copying from the starting to the end vector b into the vector c. So this is the fourth method. So I will just write fourth and c above. Okay, and now I will tell you the ways to iterate over an vector. There are three ways by which you can iterate over a vector. Iterate basically means traversal. Traversal basically means that we are checking or we are accessing one element of a vector at a time, and which is basically from starting element to the ending element. This we can do. Ways to traverse. Let me ways to. The first method is, in this we can normally, as for array, if there is an array, suppose int a, if there is an array like this and we want to iterate over this, then what we do, we write a for loop or any loop, means while loop, do while loop, any loop you want to write. I write for loop. So we write a for loop. One sec. I have to change this into LL, means long int type. We write a for loop and we just take c in a of I. We do like this to iterate over an vector. Same we have to do to iterate over a we do like this to iterate over an array, means we do this to iterate over an array. The same procedure we have to follow to iterate over a vector. Basically I mean to say that if I have wrote here so now you will ask me that I have to just replace here a with b. Now you will ask me, you will have doubt that this is vector. For array we use this symbol, we use this operator, operator to access an element of an array. So how we are using this operator to access an element of an vector? So this is the advantage of vector. We can use this operator to access the element of the vector also. So if there is if anyone has doubt that how we are using this operator to access an element of the vector, so we can use this. It is defined in the STL library. So what I did basically, instead of writing here LL a of n, means what we instead of here n, instead of n I have to write b dot end, not n, means we can write n, but now there could be a doubt in a person's mind that while initializing an array, means now I will stop for a second in order to take a break to have some air. Just a second. Now what I basically mean to say that if a person has a doubt that normally in questions they are given this they have given that the size of array is n, then we have to take that array, and then for iterating over the array we should know the size of the array, means we should know what is the value of n, which we get by writing c in n, means which we take as input from the user. So but here in this case we have not taken any size for vector, but we are going to means insert elements inside the vector. So what will be the end point of the I value? So for this there is a function end which I have told you here, v dot end. So you can write like this. V dot size. Sorry, I'm extremely sorry. V dot size. End is for iterator, means in second method I will use the end function. For what I have basically wrote, that from I equal to 0 to I less than v dot size. V dot size is basically n, but when we don't know the size of the vector, we can use this. If we know the size of the vector, then we can replace it with n. But now as I am assuming that while taking input from the user, I don't know the size of the vector, so I am writing like this. V dot size is basically what, that it is n. So this is one way to iterate over an vector. And now this you know that we are taking input from the vector. So for example, if we are declare a vector and I have inserted means I have input 1 2 3 4 5, then this will be the vector itself. Basically you can assume it as an array. Now second way, control Z, one sec. Now I will tell you the second way for to iterate over an vector. Now there should be some difference between array and vector. There should be some, means obviously otherwise why would we have used vector? There is an pointer, a smart pointer known as iterator. For this you don't need to know much, just understand iterator. Iterator means, iterator basically means smart pointer. Now don't get tense if you don't know smart pointer, but just you should know that how we dereference a pointer. Not if you know if you know what pointer is an variable which stores the address of another variable. Now don't focus on smart, I have just wrote because it is smart pointer. But if you know how to dereference a pointer, dereference means what is the value stored at the address which this pointer is carrying. Basically, if there is a pointer p which is storing the address, this is this AND operator is used to store the address of variable x, and there is a variable x which has value 25, suppose. Then by writing star p, this is basically what, this is basically 25, means we are accessing the value stored at the address which this pointer is storing. Means if this pointer will store an address, at that address what value is being stored, this by writing this we are accessing that value, means basically star p is equal to 25. Moreover, we know that on pointers we can use plus minus operator, plus equal to 2, etc., etc. Means basically we can do from arithmetic operations we can use plus, means increment, decrement, and we can use p plus equal to 2, p minus equal to 2 operators on pointers. We can use, it is legal. Why? Because by this you can understand that we are for example, there is an array and each element of that array will have an address. For example, this array, suppose the first element has first element has address 201, then this will have address according to what is the size of the integer. If we take it as 4, then this will have 205, this will have 209, this will have 2013, etc., etc. But if I am telling you that there is a pointer which is pointing to the first element of this array, if that pointer is p, then if I will dereference the pointer, then what it will give me? It will give 1. Why? because it is giving me the value which is stored at the address, and that address is stored in this pointer. Now if I will first increment the pointer, means if I will first write like this, then basically what I am doing, that I am now the pointer P is pointing towards 2, not 1, because I have incremented it by 1. So now you will so I think that you know all this, but then also I am telling, because you should not get confused that how I am able to write the syntax of the iterator, means while iterating over an vector by using iterator, why I am writing that. For that I am explaining you this, means that's why. So by incrementing P with means P plus plus, we are now the pointer is pointing towards P. Now I will speed up. I will increase the speed. So, and after dereferencing P, now it will give me value 2. So this is basics what I wanted to explain. So iterator is basically like pointer only, in which you are pointing to a first element and then we increment it. But now let's see how we will write the syntax for iterating for iterator. Now for declaring an iterator, it's not like simple data type. We have to the syntax for declaring an iterator is one second. Now what I have wrote here, this basically means, now first of all, in HTML there are various containers like vector, map. Each container has its specific type of iterator. We can use AutoIT, which I will explain you later, but AutoIT has some problem, means it can give some error, so it can give error sometimes. So I am telling you how to declare a particular vector for a particular how to define a particular iterator for a particular container. So for a container like vector, we have to write the container name here. We have to give the data type, means Control Z. We have to write that data type here. Means basically how we declare the vector, instead of just writing we copy all this. Okay. Then give 2 semicolon and then iterator space IT. This you can understand it as this is a data type, all this is a data type, and this is the name of the variable. So now this IT is an iterator. So to iterate over an vector, I will use IT equal to one second, v dot begin IT not equal to v dot end IT plus plus. My typing speed is very less. C in, no, not C in. You can write C out star IT So basically what I have wrote here is v dot end, sorry, v dot end, here also with v dot begin, sorry. So what I will explain you what is all this about. All this is about. First of all, you can declare iterator like this also, or by just writing this also. I mean, instead of writing all of these things, we can write like this also. But this has some problem. That's why I would recommend that you should use this. Now, how this syntax is working is that this auto is an keyword which automatically, means the compiler automatically identifies the type of the iterator it is. according to what we have means what syntax we have written. So auto means basically the compiler itself decides that it is iterator of which container or which type of container. But I would recommend that sometimes the compiler can be mistaken, so it can throw error. So I would recommend you that you should declare iterator like this. Now you got till now you understood that iterator is nothing but pointer. So to an iterator is pointing, suppose this is the vector, an iterator is pointing to the first element. So how I will write it in syntax? V dot begin basically, V dot begin is basically, you can understand it as an address of the first. Means actually V dot begin is a function which gives you can for your explanation you can understand that it gives the address of the first element of the vector to the IT. Okay. Now v dot end. Why we have wrote here not equal to v dot end? Because as I told that v dot begin will give the address of the first element of the vector, but v dot end is not giving the address of the last element of the vector. It will give the address just next to the last element of the vector. For example, if there is let's say it is x, y, z, w, t, r. So if the address of first element is x, then v dot begin is x, v dot end is not t, v dot end is r. So we are what this statement basically means, that we have to start from first address, and we have to we don't have to stop until we reach the last address. But as we don't know the last address, we tell that we can write instead of writing like this, we can also write like this. But normally we prefer like writing like this only. So this means that we are basically traversing all the vector, and we are giving out, means on the output panel we are giving star IT, means what we are dereferencing the iterator, and by which we are getting the value. All this statement basically means that first the iterator is pointing to the first element of the vector, then star IT means it will see out it what will means what output will be inside the output panel. One sec. Inside the output panel you will get 1, then iterator will increment. Basically what? The pointer will increment. Basically what? The iterator will now point to the second element, then it will dereference it, then it will output 2, then it will be go on 3, 4, 5 space 5 like this. So this is the third method to iterate second method to iterate over an vector. Now the third method is by using for each loop. Now those who know Python, those who know C# language, they know that they can use for each loop inside means there is for each loop inside C# language. There is for each loop in the new version of C++, means we can use for each loop. Now what for each loop is basically about, I will explain in one second, just means in after some interval. And I think there is for each loop in Python also. What for each loop is basically about, instead of writing for like this, I will first explain the basic difference in what is the difference between these two, by which you will be able to easily understand what is the difference between these two and the third one. In this, we are accessing the elements of the vector by index. In this, we are accessing the elements of the vector by address. And now we are directly going to access the elements of the vector. By this, I mean to say that in first I will write the syntax, then I will explain you. Auto x colon v so this is very simple. Now you will say that why didn't you tell this third method? Means why are you telling this method very late? Because this is just a two statement, and we have to write very less to iterate over an vector. But in this we have to write more line of code. But now I will explain what this means. This means that auto, as I told you, auto, I have already explained you what is auto. Auto is an keyword by which the compiler is able to identify itself that what is the data type for which that variable is used, or what is the container for which that variable is used. So here auto is doing the same work. Now what is x? X is the value of the element inside the vector. This is the vector v. This statement means that for any value inside that vector, we have to print that value. Means basically this will also give the output same as this. Now what you and basically x is changing every time. Now you will ask that here we are not doing any increment or such. This it is inbuilt, means by writing this the x will increment accordingly, means it will increment automatically. So first the value of x is 1. Now this value 1 is inside the vector, so we will print the vector value. Now the x will increment and the value is become 2. Now the 2 is inside the vector, so we will print 2. Now same for 3, same for 4, same for 5. Now after 5 it will increment, or it will go, but now the vector is finished, so there is no value inside vector as such, and after that there will be no even though if there is any garbage value, that value garbage value at that memory location, that value is not inside the vector, so it will not be printed. So basically what x here, now x is changing, means x is first 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, control Z, etc. Then 5. So these are the three methods by which we can iterate over an vector. Now we will come. Now I will ask. Means I will wait for 3 to 5 minutes, and I will see the comment section. If you have any doubt, then please write your doubt inside the comment section, so that I will try to clarify your doubt. There is it a pointer? What is IT? If anybody has doubt, then please write your doubt inside the comment section, in the chat section. We can iterate in array by pointer also. Yes, we can iterate in array by pointer also. Does anyone? What is wrong with auto keyword? Actually, I don't know. Means I don't know. I don't know what is means technically wrong with auto keyword. Means as I only know how to use it, and as much as I have read about auto keyword, the person who taught me about this auto keyword, they told that by using auto, the compiler is going to decide that the iterator or the variable is used for which container. So sometimes because of the there could be some difference. There could be very less difference between two different types of containers, and if we are using both the containers inside our program, then the compiler may get confused that this iterator is pointing to towards which container. For example, if means I have not seen any means I cannot give you exact example, but I need to search more about it, that what are the different problems for the auto keyword. But till now I know that we can use auto keyword. Even I use auto keyword. But if the programs are simple, means if you are using one or max 2 to 3 types of container inside our program, then we can use auto keyword. But if the program is complex, then we should avoid using auto keyword, because it can give sometimes error. What type of error and what is technically wrong with using auto, I don't know exactly, but I will definitely read about this and will convey you, Suyesh. But once we initialize, it will automatically set correctly. Does anyone has any more doubts? How many you are? Does anyone has? Are there any more doubts left to clarify? If no, then please tell. I will continue. Am I audible? Because there is no response in the chat section. I am getting response from Vishal and Suyesh and Vaibhav, but don't. Okay. Now I am sure that I am audible, but what I have told you till now, am I means one sec. Did everyone understand what I taught till now? Means, did you understand? So you don't have any doubts related all this. Everything is clear. Just tell yes or no. Means, is everything clear till now? Okay. Yes, I know, Nyaneshwar, I am audible. Is it clear? Miss, do you have any doubts related to what I taught till now? One sec. Actually, the screen got flat. Okay, so I will continue, as most of them are clear and they don't have any doubt. All of them are very intelligent. Okay, so I will continue. Now I will erase all this so that I can. No, I will not erase all this. I have written it very. Now I will tell you about the various functions that we use to manipulate vectors. Functions to the headline must be short and simple. So functions for vectors. Now first function. This function is what should I? Give me a second. I will decide in what order I have to tell the functions. Till that, if anybody has, please write your doubt in the section so that I would be able to clarify your doubt. Just a second. Now I will the first function that I am going to teach is v dot pushback, which is normally taught by anyone who is teaching vector. The first function they taught is normally they teach us is normally pushback function. So I will also do the same. I will follow the tradition. So first function is pushback function. So pushback function, this what does it take as its argument, and what does it give us? The syntax for using syntax for using pushback function is simply is that v dot push underscore this v dot any val. Suppose this is vector. Now up till now I have used notation v for vector many times. So now so I think that I should not tell every time that what is v. So this v is vector. I am using dot operator to manipulate this vector with the help of pushback function, and v dot pushback val is basically going to insert the particular value at the end of the vector. So basically I will for example, if there is a I will write in top, so that for every function I will not make different array. One second. So if there is a vector initially like this 3, 5, 6, anything. Now if there is vector like this, and I told that v dot pushback, actually the functions, the name of the functions in STLs are enough to understand that what they exactly do. Now pushback, basically what it will do, it will insert an value which it will take as an argument at the back of the vector. So pushback 6, by doing this the array will change to this. Okay, so this is pushback vector. It takes argument as the data type f which we have declare vector of, means now I have declare, normally I declare vector of LL type, so it will take value as LL, means 6 is now long int data type, means it is stored in long int data type variable type. So okay, so this is pushback function. Doubt किसी को doubt आएगा? Yes, no doubt. Okay. So pushback function is over. Syntax without pushback, so this is pushback function. Now I will the second function that I am going to tell you is that empty function. This is easy function to understand. Now what exactly empty function will do? The name itself is telling us. It will empty the vector. Means I think I should not explain this all, means what it will do, but then also I will explain if anyone has doubt. Oh, sorry. V dot empty will basically empty this vector into nothing, means there will be nothing. It will make the vector void. But sometimes we use vector, means now what is the use of this empty function? I have not told you what is the use of pushback function. Normally we don't use pushback function. We use in place function. Why don't we use pushback function? Because pushback functions increase the size of the vector every time when the a new element is added, means it for example, initially the vector was phi. Now it has now for when we do v dot pushback is, it will copy all the elements of this vector into another memory space, and then in that memory space it will give it will insert the 6th value. So it doesn't mean, now this will take large amount of time, because if there is a vector of size n, then it will take O of n time to copy that whole vector into another memory location, and to increase the size accordingly, that how much we have accordingly which depends upon how many times we have used the pushback function. But normally to use pushback functions in while programming, we can insert elements into the vector by using pushback function. For example, I dot 0, I v dot size v dot size no, I will not say, one sec. V dot size C in V dot no, not int x C in x V dot pushback x. Just I am writing this so that you can understand how we are using this pushback function while writing a program. But normally we don't, means I don't use like I don't insert elements like this inside the array. So what we are exactly doing here is, we are declaring and taking a variable x. Means we are taking, means for example, to take 1 3 4 5 as input, I have declared x. I will take 1 as input, then I will push back 1 inside the vector. So before the vector was empty, now there would be 1 inside vector. Now next time I will again take 3 as input inside x, and then I will push back that 3 into the vector. So push back, so the vector will not become 3 space 1. The vector will become 1 space 3. Push back. So like this, we will take the values. For example, so I have wrote the code for using pushback function. Similarly, now you will tell me that just to check means what is the exact use of empty function, means why empty means we can check that the vector is empty or not. So for iterating we can write like this, means if we don't know the size of the vector, then we can write like this, while v negation v dot empty. I will explain you what it is. V dot empty, cout v of I, cout v of I, and v dot pop. If there is some so empty vector means null vector. What is the value of v dot size? All of this for demonstrating pushback. The initially when the vector is means we have not given any particular value to the vector, so there would now you will get confused that if we don't know the value, then where we will stop. Then it will stop until we will give the input. Means, for example, if there is there is size. One second. Initially, there would be some particular amount of value given memory unit assigned to the vector, which depends upon from compiler to compiler. So that memory is given to the vector. Now after we will input elements one by one. So for example, we have inputted elements 1, 3, 5, 6. Then actually the size was 3. Then now I have to insert 6. Then the size will become double. Now next time after inserting 8 and 9, the size will become again double. Means now 6. So 6 into 2, suppose 12. Now it will become 24. Like this, the vector size increases. And if you are telling that what is the v dot size here, normally in the program means normally in any question, if you will take any question, then normally when we are using the vector, we are knowing the size of the vector. If there is any vector manipulation, or if the question is indirectly demanding for vector manipulation, or vector manipulation means basically to increase the size or decrease the size of the vector after some line of codes, then it is another case. But initially we normally know the size of the vector, because normally the question is given like what is the size, size of the array, means size of the array is n, and then the array is given. But instead of array we use vectors. So normally we know the size of the vector. After taking the input, after taking the whole image, all the elements inside the vector, we can again change the size if the question is demanding so. One sec, my screen is. So v dot is the number of elements in the vector. Yes, v dot size gives the number of, means what means yes, what are you asking? Means I didn't understand your question. Are you asking that v dot size gives what? I am telling that v dot size gives the number of elements in the vector. One sec, I will check if you have a doubt. Then check. For safety purpose, I will. हेलो बोलना. हाँ केला मी. एक सेकंड ना. एक सेकंड. Hello. Give me just give me 1 second. I just need to talk to my friend. Just give me 1 second. But as one of our teammate asked that is it valid, so I just cut के लिए बात करें. Am I audible? Am I audible? वाटतं कट केलं चुकून मी. थांब. हाँ बोल ना.
अरे कट शॉट कर थोडं.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हाँ बोल ना.
हाँ ब्रो कट शॉट कर थोडं रे.
हाँ म्हणजे आता मग संपवून टाकू का? आता बाकीचं नंतर घेतो.
डन ठीक आहे.
हा पण मला संपवू दे. अरे मी चूक कट केलं रे. म्हणजे काय झालं ते?
मी कट केलं रे. मला वाटतं तुझा ऑडिओ बंद होत नाहीये. ठीक आहे.
एक सेकंड बघ ना जरा. मी कट केलं की तू कट केलंय बघ जरा प्लीज.
मी केलं रे बाबा.
आता ऐकू येते तुला?
माहिती आहे. मी आपल्या हात से कट किया.
एम आय ऑडिबल? परत.
येस यू आर ब्रो.
ओके हा ठीक आहे. मला वाटलं इकडे ग्रे दिसते रे. So I am going to finish this session, but just I want to end this session with one sec. By clearing a doubt, one of our teammates told that this will not work, but actually as you can see this is going to work, as I have taken 5, this 1 2 3 4 5 is an input, and this 1 2 3 4 5 has been this output has been successfully given by the compiler. Okay. There are many more functions for the vector. I will tell about. You can yourself can now, as you got the basics of what is vector and how to manipulate the vector, how to copy vector, how to initialize and declare the vector, how to iterate over a vector. So basically I have given you all the basic information. Now basically you can if you will try, you will be able to solve some questions on coding platforms like Codeforces, HackerRank by using vectors. And now you will ask me that are there any particular type of questions for special questions for vector? There are some special questions for vector in which it becomes compulsory for, means it becomes very obvious to use vector there and not array. But generally in any array question means normally you can see that most of the questions are most of the beginner questions are related to arrays. So in any array questions you can use vector. So in order to practice, I will not give you exact any questions. You take 5 to 6 questions from any from Coursera platform, from beginner section, in which they have told to take input as an array and use vectors there, and see if you are able to use vector there. But to use vector successfully, we need to know more functions that you can explore by yourself on GFG, which is Geeks for Geeks site, or there is one another website, cppreference.com and cppplus.com. Like this, there are some websites in which you can get all the information about STL and the functions used, various functions used in STL. But I would recommend that GFG is enough. You can get all the functions related to vector there, and moreover you can get all the information of all the different type of containers that we should use and we should know of STL. We can get all the knowledge at GFG. Now by this I will end my session. Thank you, and please give thumbs up if you like my session. Otherwise I don't care. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Now I am going to